This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Jade Empire. In the last episode, we finally finished the arena, became the champions, and then had an anticlimactic battle where we didn't finish off Kylon, but our good companion, the Black Whirlwind, did. And I guess he got his, was revenge, and everything's clear. So Black Whirlwind's good to go to follow us to the ends of the earth. At least that's what it seems like anyway. Now after we leave the arena, we've talked to our companions because now we can go to the next step of the game we want to. Obviously, we're not going to do that quite yet, but for now, let's talk to him about that. Right now, Sagacious Zoo and Silk Fox had a little bit of a tumble about how we should go about this. Sagacious Zoo, what we do when the time comes. Quiet Silk Fox, he is right to advise caution. I'll do what I must regardless of you both.
You don't know what they are capable of.
The matter is settled. Go sulk in the corner like you're accustomed to doing.
This is not helping anything. Are we any closer to getting to the Lotus Assassins so this accursed woman will help us find Master Li?
Oh, she spits fire at last. Now I see how the child left her little village. She has some spirit in her after all. But I'm sure you can appease her. You've already gained the recommendation of the Lotus Assassin Executioner. You could also seek out the Inquisitor and gain his recommendation as well, but the path to the Lotus Assassin Fortress is ready for you now.
And after we find the evidence against Death's Hand, you will take us to the palace to find Master Li?
I promise, little Dawn Star. After we get what I want from the Lotus Assassins, the palace is the first place we will go. You have permission, so there won't be any trouble entering. It's only after we have the evidence against Death's Hand that they might notice something is wrong.
It's kind of interesting how the game says, like, you could still do the Inquisitor if you want to, but technically wouldn't the characters say, hey, let's go ahead and take care of this now, because we have the opportunity to, instead of just buying time or waiting or whatever. But anyway, it looks like Sagacious Sue took whatever we said to great effect, because he walked out on us, so, I wonder where he went. We'll worry about that when the time comes, but I'd rather kick in the door than keep up the secrecy. Once inside, I can take care of myself. I'd rather kick in the doors than keep up the secrecy.
Oh, you're fun when you're forceful. Still, you should at least get some information about the place.
It would still be good to get some information first. Sagacious Zoo might know something. We should ask him. Where is he?
Well, you should be more careful of who you trust.
He was a former Lotus Assassin, so he just walked out on us. Remember, maybe he's having a case of the Mondays. I don't know. If I did that, careful who you trust. If I did that, none of you would be here. That's funny. We'll have to hunt him down. He's harmless, an old coward. Yeah, he's harmless, an old coward.
If that's the case, he doesn't matter. But if he's gone to warn the Lotus Assassins, you need to move quickly.
Zoo would not turn on us.
The Lotus Assassin Fortress is in the far end of the necropolis. They shouldn't give you any trouble. Just appear confident as you enter.
I'm going to do the task for the other recruiter first. Or I could say I'll go to the fortress now. It doesn't really matter. You can choose whatever, but I'm going to do that. Of course I'm going to do that because I can just solve it right now.
The Inquisitor will have some task that needs addressing, I'm sure. Scholar Dungao in the Scholar's Garden is the contact.
I already know about that. You were with me when we did that. But, is there anything you want to discuss? Oh, and then we're back to out of the conversation. Let's see. What do you think about the current situation? We'll talk about the Emperor. Is there anything you wanted to discuss before I get moving? Anything personal? Ooh.
I don't understand. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins with a fair amount of ease. What else is there to speak of? Is there something you are wondering?
Wow. Apparently she is quite sheltered if she doesn't realize I'm kind of wanting to get to know her better. No, your personal interests are personal feelings of no interest. Tell me about yourself. I want to know you.
About me? I am Princess Sun Lian, the Heavenly Lily. What more are you worthy of knowing?
Worthy of knowing? Damn, girl, I'm worthy of everything in this game. I'm the MC, gosh dang it. No, anyway. Tell me about your childhood, Silk Fox. Tell me about your time at court. Tell me about your childhood.
I do not remember ever being allowed to just be a child. My mother died when I was born, shortly before the end of the long drought and the fall of my uncles. I was in the care of tutors too afraid to punish me and too ingratiating to teach me anything useful. I quickly found ways to sneak away from the palace. They dared not report my excursions for fear they would be punished. They would scurry around all day trying in vain to find me.
Silk Fox, the typical princess wants a little bit more and has to sneak out to get it, you know. Typical royalty. But, you know, I guess by the time this game came out, that was kind of a trope, but, you know, it's a classic. Isn't that a dangerous thing for a young girl to do? Well, my character doesn't care about that. What did you do in the city?
I met the people, the peasants, the homeless, the thieves. Such a different world from what you see from the palace walls. They never realized who I was. I'm sure they would have been terrified of the army storming in to rescue me. Most just wanted to be left alone. That life was exciting, but also useful. Even Lotus assassins overlook the beggar on the street, but she still has eyes and ears.
Apparently you're a bit of an exhibitionist, Silk Fox, if you're all about getting excited by leaving the palace. Nah, sometimes people get bored with the day in, day out humdrum life, which I'm kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes I can do humdrum for like a long time before I'm even consider anything else, but tell me about Silk Fox.
Ah, the shadow behind my public self. How else can a curious princess learn what really happens in her domain? I don't have time to interpret the veiled statements of advisors, so I became a thief, an assassin, whatever I needed to be. People will not speak to the princess. Bad news kills the messenger first. Silk Fox knows how to persuade. That is how I learned about the activities of Death's Hand.
Well, I mean, you took the initiative to get your information. Got to give you credit for that. Notice you're gone for such lengthy periods. I'm sure you find Silk Fox being exciting as well. Yeah, I'm sure you find Silk Fox exciting as well.
There is a freedom in it. I have the resources to go anywhere in the secrecy to do anything. If I wished it, I could be quite carefree. But that is not what I have found in practice. Instead, I see how my father's reign has twisted, and I know I must do something.
I see. No one notices that you're gone for such lengthy periods?
There are many excuses for a vain princess to retreat from sight for days, even weeks at a time. My father encourages such getaways. And if courtiers ever discovered that I was not where I said I would be, who would dare question the Heavenly Lily? I may eschew the formality of it, but being the daughter of the Emperor still has its privileges.
Well, if I was the son of an emperor, and I would still be hypocritical about my attitude, or tell people this like I was here the whole time. Yes, you were. Of course you were. Anyway, so we already did the childhood one. Right?
I do not remember.
Okay, and then Silk Fox childhood. Okay, wait, didn't she have one about the court? Hold on. Okay, tell me about your time in court.
I do not like to speak about that. I try to avoid the court as much as possible. It is filled with sycophants pandering to the fancies of my father, with little or no concern to their own dignity. It is distasteful.
It's basically they just bow to his every whim, even though he's supposed to be the Grand High Emperor, born of heaven, or whatever the full term is. I mean, I'd probably appeal to that too if I was a noble. It doesn't sound exactly. I think you do well at court. It doesn't sound very interesting.
The imperial court performs a necessary function in a very inefficient way. When I succeed my father, there will be quite a cleaning out. But with Death's Hand manipulating him, that day seems less and less likely.
How do you know you'll succeed him? What if someone's fist went through your chest and killed you, like right now? No. We will prevail, princess. Nothing else matters. Oh, yeah, that's true. Tell me about your first love.
It would be very improper for someone of my standing to say anything, unless you make me a little more comfortable. I have already shared something of myself. Can you tell me something about you? Is there anyone that you care for?
I'm the MC. I'm supposed to ask you questions. You're not supposed to ask me stuff. What nonsense is this? There's no one for me. Where there is one person a noble, I find Squires to be quite charming. Dawnstar is of great interest to me, which is true. Have I mentioned that before or not? Well, anyway, that's actually not a joke, actually, there's a... I guess now that we're talking about the first love thing, there are all multiple love interests, and if you haven't already figured out, for the male character, you actually have 3 love interests. You have Dawnstar, Silk Fox, and Sky, so you can actually be you can actually have a gay romance, or I guess bi, depending on how you play your character. But yeah, obviously I've been mean to Sky. That would never happen in this playthrough. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it's the second game that BioWare did that had a same-sex relationship in it, because in the first game, well, actually, I don't think Baldur's Gate had anything like that as far as I'm aware of. But KOTOR 1 did, although there was a glitch in that game. I mentioned it when I played that, where the Cathar girl, oh, now I forgot her name, but she was supposed to only be romanceable by the female character, but there was like some weird glitch in the game where a male character could romance her too. Although it's never an official romance, it's like one of those where you just kind of mess with each other type of thing. But that was I think this is the second time, because KOTOR 2 didn't have anything, and I don't think they had any other games in between. Neverwhere Nights, I don't believe, had anything. So yeah, but I've never, weirdly enough, all the times I played through this game, I've still never done the Sky romance. I'm one of those guys that almost does like a very similar, I'll play through a game multiple times, but sometimes I'll still do the same decisions over and over again because I'm weird like that. I don't know, it's the same with Mass Effect too, even though I played that and done all the different paths, but I tend to play like, when I do certain multiple playthroughs, I'll play like the same one over and over again. I don't know why. I think apparently online a lot of people act like that too. So anyway, just I'd throw that out there. But for right now, we're talking to Miss Noble here. We want to get points with her. So, well, there is one person, a noble.
A noble. How romantic. Aloof. Separate by class and breeding. Unattainable for a peasant, normally. Wanting someone you can never have. Love you can never show in public. Such loneliness should not exist. I have contributed to that. The princess behaves as she should, reinforcing the very rules I despise, all to protect Silk Fox. Which one am I?
You're Princess Sunlian, but that does not mean you are any less deserving of being happy. You're a Silk Fox, and you take what you want from whoever you want. That is where happiness lies.
If the freedom you suggest is there, I have never felt it. I have hidden within this costume so I would not have to conform to what others want. It feels more like a retreat than a victory. I can show strength, certainly, but only by hiding my true nature.
Tradition can be maintained without restraining people. As the Heavenly Lily can make certain of it. You cling to traditions that should be left behind. Clearly you want more. I can provide that.
As princess, I cannot pick and choose what rules of the Empire I follow. Not if I'm trying to restore the glory it once had. You tease me with a friendship that has no future. I have many suitors in both of my guises, but you draw me in like no other. How have you done this? Why have you done this?
I'm the MC. Immediately, any main character in any game is automatically attracted to by like every one of the opposite sex or same sex, depending on which game you're playing, just because. No reason of that. You know, it's what do they call it when player sexual or whatever it's called, where just everyone is attracted to the MC because people would like that in real life. I don't know if I would like that in real life. I'm more of a self person. I'm like, I don't want to deal with all that, but I think it's funny anyway. I admire respect for tradition, even if it holds you back from what you want. To show what you can be yours if you have the courage to do what is necessarily is merely a game. You toy with me, I toy with you. No, we're not doing that path. Although I've done that before, but I kind of like the whole closed fist, still trying to romance type of person. Although technically you'd probably be take what you want type of mentality, but to show what can be yours if you have the courage to do what is necessary.
Now you sound like a revolutionary. I no longer know if you speak of personal desires or the fate of the Empire. Perhaps you see them as the same.
I do not mean to alarm you. I respect tradition as much as you do. Charm, you know it in your heart what you deserve. Perhaps it is time others were forced to respect that. If you can't demand what you, that's charm. Intuition, if you don't demand what you want, despite the consequences, you cannot claim it worthwhile. Intimidation, perhaps they are the same. Stop defending a tradition. Demand what you want or accept your role.
You asked me to tell you of my first love. Until this moment, it was the Empire. Until this moment. Now I see how I have been a slave to tradition, how I have worked to save an empire that does not satisfy me. When we take control back from Death's hand, there will be changes. After all, things got this way because of foolish weaknesses.
When we take control, that's different than just exposing Death's hands. Now you sound like the Silk Fox. Now you have my attention.
Silk Fox will be getting quite a bit of attention from now on. If I decide that some of it will be yours, you will know. You may regret what you have done here. Do you know what it will take to satisfy me now that what I want is so important? We will have much to discuss once we dispose of Death's hand. I look forward to a stimulating conversation.
Damn, girl! You get what you want. No, there's actually two variations to this. Well, I guess it's the same with all paths in the game. There's two variations of the romance option there. There's the open fist harmony version, which is in her case would have been getting her to embrace the princess role and using her power to kind of keep control and all this other stuff that way. And then there's the Silk Fox way, which isn't necessarily closed hand, but it depends on how you go about it. But I feel keeping her as Silk Fox and being more aggressive and changing things to the way you want is more of a Discord closed fist type of way. So that's the way I do it when I play closed fist versions of her. But let's see if she has anything else to ask.
I will answer what I can, but you have other things to do as well.
But yeah, you could easily just like back off the romance if you want to. Like all their games, a lot of times you can just shut it off if you don't want to deal with it, or if they talk to you and you're like, I don't want to do that. There's only been like one game where it was where they kind of try to, well, not force, but they try to like push it for a bit until you're like, all right, back off, But even then, it wasn't that big a deal. It was like the Anders romance in Dragon Age 2. It really wasn't that bad. It's like one of the few times where the characters hit on you first instead of you trying to hit on them, if that makes sense. And a lot of people were kind of iffy about the way that was written, but maybe one day we'll get to Dragon Age 2. We'll see. Or how long it'll take if I do eventually do it. Let's see. I don't think she has anything new, but we'll ask anyway.
We've gone over this. Death's hand is using the prisoners who should be working on the wall.
Okay, okay, I just wanted to...
My father?
I think we've asked her this
Death's
too.
hand is...
No, I think we already did the personal thing, so she would just say, we'll get back to it later.
Do not hesitate for too long. Sagacious Zoo's sudden flight has made our task somewhat more urgent.
That'd be funny if all of a sudden Dawnstar just goes like, oh, but you just talked about lusting after her in that conversation right next to me. I'm like, except technically the game thinks it's a separate conversation, so... All right, well, let's see. Now that we've done that, let's talk to everyone else. I think we've already done all of Black Whirlwind stuff, but I'll double check it again. Okay, nothing new with him, because we already did that earlier, and we did his side quest. So, all right, Henpecktail, what have you got? Do you have any tantalizing story about ladies after what I just talked with Silk Fox? Oh wait, your wife, right?
Yes.
Okay, what are your thoughts on this situation?
I still can't believe it's that easy to become a Lotus assassin. If I had known sooner, I would have joined their ranks as soon as possible. It would be brutal work, with little reward, and there's a good chance I'd die a hideous, painful death. But it couldn't all be better than married life, could it?
Oh, yes. Your life sucks. No, you need to work on your relationship after this game's over, dude. Why don't you just leave your wife, ho? Start over.
My prescient pretty has an uncanny knack for derailing my plans, in case you haven't already noticed. I have tried several times to leave, but it always fails miserably. Some say there are spirits out there that masquerade as people, and I suspect she may be one of them. She has my soul, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Huh. So you just think your wife is some, like, soul-sucking succubus or something like that? Don't all relationships act like that. No, I'm just kidding. You know what the sad thing about this? Well, I don't know if it's sad or not. It's like, I don't think you could tell this story in today. Like, with how, like, well, I guess you could still, but more people would be up in arms about this type of storytelling now. Like, it would be too sensitive for... I feel like if you did a story in a game like this now, people would be writing blogs about it and how it's terrible and all this other stuff. And It's kind of sad that I even have to consider that. You know, like when I played this back in the day, I thought this was just one of those funny, over-the-top relationships that you saw in cartoons. You know, where the domineering wife and all this other stuff. Like I never thought it was like anything other than that. And then nowadays, people like over exaggerate everything to the point like you can't just enjoy the story or just enjoy the silly situation that Ho has found himself in. But oh well, whatever. Do you have any proof that she's whatever? Being married to a spirit could have its advantages.
One time, I tried to sneak away while she was delivering a special order of buns to her uncle's family. As I started to leave, I slipped on some oil and broke my arm. Still, I put my arm in a sling and was continuing on my way when I was run down by a rogue bun cart. When I came to, my wife had returned and was in a foul mood. Apparently, everyone she had visited died from food poisoning. But why not her? I mean, I'm sure she ate at least one of the buns I sent.
Whoa, dude. Okay, maybe poisoning your wife with food poisoning, maybe a bit extreme, I'll admit. Calm down just a bit. You may be right, perhaps she is not entirely human. Or are you saying that the buns were poisoned? I don't think he actually did that. That's just the joke where it's just like, it was an accident, that type of thing. But at first you think, like, whoa, dude, maybe you'll do better next time.
It is simply my lot in life to be given into the care of a demon whose sole sustenance comes from sucking the very life from my body and soul. Soup, anyone?
Oh, your life is terrible, Ho. Thanks for all that.
As you say, I will be here scrubbing your pots until you call upon me again.
I do feel bad for Ho, all the stories, even though he's supposed to be technically I don't know if I call him the joke character, but his story is definitely one of those where it's just like, oh, you poor guy, oh man, sucks for you. Anyway, because usually most RPGs usually have a joke character or a character that's sillier than some of the other ones. Although it might be Kang in this case, really, with, oh, that's right, I need to do his furnace stuff. Well, maybe next episode. Let's talk to Sky, see if he has anything to say.
Always happy to help. What do you need?
We have been a bit pissy with him recently. Perhaps we'll be a little bit nicer. He hasn't really deserved it anyway. What's on your mind right now?
Dawnstar has been telling me about Two Rivers, the swamp, and Gal the Lesser. I was sorry to hear about your town and your friends. It brought a question to mind. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Why? Seriously, why are you doing this? Details aside, you're fighting the Empire as a whole when you oppose the Lotus Assassins, Death's Hand, or the Emperor's will. I know all about your village and your master, and that explains some of it. What it doesn't explain is your drive, your strength. What gives you that?
I'm the MC of this game. If I didn't do it, there would be no story. So, oh, you mean my motivation? Oh, okay. Like in the game. People are suffering. I'm going to find out why and fix it. It is a matter of honor. My home must be avenged. The Empire destroyed those who had taught me to fully use my abilities. Never question my motivations. They're mine alone. We've been super dickish to Sky. Let's be a little bit more. Let's be a little bit nicer. Not too nice. Not too nice. The Empire destroyed those who had taught me to fully use my abilities.
Revenge, then? Or perhaps the thought that there's still more to learn by walking this path? I know you're going to follow Silk Fox's plans to find a way into the Assassin's Den. It won't be easy, but I'm confident we'll succeed. It's what happens after you find a way in that has me worried.
I looked after myself. I dealt with assassins before. Why the concern? I'll tear that place down by its foundation if I have to. Keep your worries to yourself. We have more important things to do. And I'll tear that place down by its foundations if I have to.
I can imagine that might just be the case. I knew men and women who were drawn to the Lotus Assassins. They went into that place to prove themselves, as you intend to. And the few who made it back out were different.
They'll have to kill me before they change me. I'm already changed, dude. Different how? I'm stronger than the thieves you used to run with, Sky. You have to respect that kind of control over novices. Oh, yeah. I'm stronger than the thieves you used to run with, Sky. You have to respect that kind of control over novices.
That's true. It is impressive. If the novices were stronger, they wouldn't buy into the dogma. I know you'll be fine. The assassins will be lucky if you don't bring the place down around their ears. Just be sure not to tip your hand before you're ready. That's all in the future, though. We should keep at what we're doing. There's a lot left to tackle before we're done.
Oh yeah, and I guess I forgot to mention when I was talking to Silk Fox about the romance characters. When you're playing as male monk or male spirit monk, you obviously it's Silk Fox, Dawnstar, and Sky. If you're playing female, spirit monk, you only have Sky and Silk Fox. Unfortunately, they didn't. For whatever reason, they do like a same-sex option for male monk, but they don't do one for female monk, or I guess monk or spirit monk or whatever you want to call it, which is kind of weird. You would think they would have an option with multiple options there, but there was no other. Really, when you think about all the other male characters, are really no option. Some people would have thought Sagacious Zoo, but there's a reason for that. I'm not going to go into it in any detail later, but and Sky's his story is interesting from the male side point of view, because he's one of those that had a wife and child and all this other stuff, but then he finds over the course of the game that he finds an attraction to you, from what I understand. So it's one of those like later in life type of things. So unfortunately, I haven't actually done that story yet, or if I did, it was so long ago I don't know if it's written well or not. Maybe one day, but unfortunately, I'm not playing that type of character in this type of run. So oh well. What are your thoughts on the situation?
You managed to satisfy the Lotus Assassins, and that's a major step forward. I just worry that it's a step over the edge of a precipice. Despite my misgivings, I can't help but smile at the thought that you're the reason they're so keen to acquire new recruits. Nothing like thinning the ranks to make some room.
I guess that's true. I'll talk to you later, Sky.
Of course. I'll be here if you need anything.
That would be funny if he said something like, "Hey, you weren't such a douche to me this time." So, does Wildflower have anything to say? We've already convinced Evil Dude to take over her body.
What do you...
But she didn't have a little icon on her thing, so...
No, you're one of them, aren't you? But not really, right? We have to find them so we can stop them. I know you can do it. All the people whisper in fear about them, but you stand up and fight back. But the princess said you'll have to get inside their fortress to find them.
The fortress of the Lotus Assassins, hidden amongst the grave and the necropolis, a fitting place for their corruption.
Is there anything else you want?
Yeah, no bad guy talking to her yet, anyway. But we've convinced the bad guy version of her to pop out.
Okay.
I think we have to switch to, or not bad guy, whatever his name is. I think we have to switch to it and talk to him if we want some dialogue from him. But we have to actually be. Actually, I could just switch that.
Our enemies will tremble before us.
See if there's any new dialogue with him.
No, you're one. All the people.
Nope. Okay. Just checking. All right. I was gonna talk to Dawnstar, but we've only got so much time left, so I'll talk to King really quick.
Yes, what can I do for you? Busy. No time for chatty.
Are you actually busy? It looks like you're just standing there, dude. What do you think of our current situation?
Those assassins will be tougher than Gao's men. Be careful. I need you to do more test flights with my marvelous dragonfly.
All right. You're only thinking about the test, huh? No, we don't need to fly somewhere. Okay. Oops. Well, that's fine. I need to check what my stuff is, if I can actually solve any of its configurations right now. Let's see. I've got a nickel clay. Let's see. I still don't have any sulfur or anything like that. There must be a shop I must be missing somewhere to where I can do that at, or maybe it's a reward for something. Because I need a sulfur for that. And then, see, I don't have sulfur water or whatever that is. I've only got the nickel iron thing. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, I can do that one, it looks like, because it requires nickel. So let's get that one out of the way. So let's go to the furnace, so we can do that really quick, and then we'll call it an episode. And then we'll talk to Dawnstar next episode, and then get back onto the game. Yeah, I can understand why maybe some people are aren't into watching the BioWare type of RPG games, because you'll have whole episodes of non-action and just talking, which I'm fine with personally, but I can understand a lot of people not being into, even though people watch like point-and-click adventure game playthroughs or games that have a lot of conversation in them. But hey, you know, you like what you like. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oops. So I needed to look at. We want to do the snake one, right? So, let's see. Did I read that before? I might have. You found this academic leaflet and kept it. The crux of the argument reads, to think that any machine could be designed around the principles of starting motion with the tiger. Okay. Designed around the principles of starting motion with the tiger of all things is daily. So it's a tiger one. As if they're not enough, no machine can be made by the hands of man, can be fueled with nickel. We got that. So tiger and nickel. To action. Even applications of electricity, chimney, and cauldron. No, like, okay, electric chimney. Let me do it quick. Save really quick. Okay, so we need to put in. Okay, load the new fuel, the nickel arm. Okay, so we put the nickel in there. We have to push the tiger one when we do that. So okay, let's see. Where's the? Let's see. I don't remember if you have to do them in a specific order. It's been actually a few episodes. Okay, we didn't do cauldron. Where's the electric thing first? No, not water wheel. Okay. Sorry, one more time. I'll double check it. I noticed in my older age, my my short-term memory is getting worse and worse. Electric current, chimney, smoke, and cauldron. Okay. Conductor. Okay, conductor, chimney, and cauldron. And that should, then we'll hit with the tiger. Okay. So let me. There we go. All right, and we get the calm of the morning as the morning breeze ability. What does that do? Now let me see. Techniques. Calm as the morning breeze. Mind +5. Lord Liao's furnace generated calm as the morning breeze when a corrected configuration was used. His technique provides a +5 increase to mind. Ooh, nice. Alright. Well, looks like we increased our mind. We talked with a bit of our companions, learned that Silk Fox is better as Silk Fox if she wants to make changes to the Empire, and has shown an interest into the MC. Will another companion show interest in the MC, or will it just be a mono romance? Find out next time in the next episode of Jade Empire. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.